Let's go. This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is Lawrence D. Adams. Let's get it popping and crack collecting. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. This light is bright. It's bright today. I'm out there adjusted, but we're here live. Let's go. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. Let's get it started. You watching? Thank you for tuning in. Let's get started in the teaching. Let's not waste time. Cut right through it. I know we try to wait for everybody to get in, but let's go. So today we are talking about men go from depression to vitality, being vibrant. Men going from depression to being vibrant. And it's time for men to come out of the place of depression and become vibrant again. So let's get into it today. Let's get it started. Let's get it cracking. So these 3 days this week, we've been talking about depression. We talked about depression as a way of men not expressing themselves. Simple definition. There are clinical definitions, everything like that. But I want to make sure that we get this point, because we can now, if we're not careful, we can talk about depression so much that what happens is we begin to make it like men become to take on the sense of being a victim and not wanting to come out of the stupor of being depressed. Let me say that again. So I want to make sure we emphasize this, even though we identifying depression in men. And yes, if you need to go to get professional help, get therapy, get that. But we need to get right to it and say, I don't want you to hear this about depression and the things that men go through and women, what's going on, Joe Blast, and we do not talk about how you get out of there. There must be some kind of solution for where you need to go. And so we need to really hit that right on the head, because I don't want no man to go through what I went through and how I stayed in depression and different parts of my life. So I want you to get past the place of depression until you become vibrant, until you take over. And many of the reasons why men stay in depression, because they don't have a vision. Let me say that again. They don't have a clear vision. Normally depression, we could equate depression as dark clouds. Everything is hanging low. Things ain't going right. The woman left me. She walked out. She took the kids. My mama did me wrong. My father took one of my shoes. It's always a dark cloud. But when you have vision, that's when the light, sun, comes in and actually break away the clouds that was there around your life, and you become vibrant. So we don't want to stay in the place of depression. I don't want to teach a teaching, give game so that you can become depressed and stay there. Too many people take this and say, oh yeah, he identified, but he haven't given any solutions on what I need to do. You need to come out of depression. You don't need to stay in that place. You need to get to the next level where you can be the best version of who you are. I know everything doesn't seem right on the outside of you, but you got to realize that the sun, which is on the inside of you, has to shine and become bright all around you. I know everything ain't right. I know your weight may not be right. Money may not be right. The women that you want, the car that you want, everything, the house and where you stay at. You might have roaches, rats, and cousins and Mickey Mouses and Brown Brothers, but you don't have to stay in that place. So the first thing that a man must make when he comes to depression, yes, he has to have vision, but we step back a little further. He got to make a decision that I am not going to stay in this place of being depressed. I don't care what happens. I don't care what anybody say. I'm coming out of this place of depression. You got to make a decision. Ain't nobody going to make a decision for you. Your mama ain't going to make it. Your dog, your cat, your mouse. Nobody's going to make a decision for you to come out of depression but you. If you do not make that decision to come out of depression, no matter what I say this week, no matter how many times you go to the therapist, no matter how many times you go to the church and get prayed for and they put slap oil on your head and you tell you to fall out and you get back up and they put the cloth on you, you will be depressed. It is a decision that you have to make even when you don't even feel like it. Even when you sense that things are not going right, you got to make a conscious decision. I am not going to be depressed today. I'm going to express. I'm going to stand 10 toes down. I'm going to be the best version of who I am. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You got to make a decision that I am not going to be depressed. I can give you all the dark side of it and things that happen. You sleeping underneath your bed and sleeping on your couch, you eating or you overeating. I can give you all the descriptive words of how it is to be in depression. But until you decide that I ain't going to be depressed anymore, I ain't going to stay here. I'm going to get up. I'm going to get outside. I'm going to get in the sun. I'm going to interact. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to travel down a different road. I may have to need to get a new job. I may have to deal with a different type of woman. I have to do something that's different. I may need to travel. For all my travel people, I may need to travel. You got to make a decision what's best for you. As John would say, your happiness should be paramount above anything else. Your happiness should be above everything else. Your decision to be happy. And in depression, you are not happy. You are stuck on where you are. Let me say that again. When you are depressed, you are allowing your emotions to, let me say it the correct way. You are allowing your emotions to run your life and not allow you to run your emotions so that you can run your life. So you got to make a decision. I'm not going to be here anymore. I'm a freaking man. I'm going to stand up on my 10 toes. I am not going under. It's normally when a man gives up. He doesn't give up on the outwardly. He gives up first mentally. And when a man gives up mentally, everything around him crashes like the house of cards or like a stack of dominoes. It begins to unfold around him. Everything actually begins to get worse. And if you really think about it, let me say this because some people need to hear this. If you really think about it, people begin to treat you how you've been treating yourself. So if you look at yourself as not being good or not being worthy or barely taking care of yourself, that's how they're going to treat you. So don't tell me. Don't come over here playing the victim. Don't come over here talking about, I'm depressed. Everything is going down. The money ain't right. And whatever you focus on grows. So if you focus on that, guess what's going to happen? It's going to continue to be in your life. It's going to continue to be in your life. So don't come up here looking for me to give you an award because you're depressed. I am not going to do that. Don't think I'm going to give you a pat on the back. Oh, it happened to me too. This is not going to be that kind of club. This is the place where you say, I recognize it, but I stand up. So don't come over here looking for somebody to give you a pat on the back. And I'm in the press. I did this too. And this. No, we're not. No. Because if we do that, we're continuing the cycle of you staying depressed and not moving forward and being the best version of who you are. That's why I'm saying it must be a decision that you need to make. Second of all, once you make a decision, this ain't for you to be enable. We're going to enable you. I'm going to stay this way. I want to stay this way. Everybody's like this. Everybody's like this. I'm going to stay this. Girl, please. Y'all feel sorry for me yet? I gotta leave. These women are bad over here. It's not that type of show. It's not that type of thing. If you want that, you're at the wrong place. You want somebody to pat you on the back? No. What's going on, Sharice? What's going on, Sigma? What's going on, Joe Blas? If you want that kind of treatment, you at the wrong location, wrong station. You may need to go change Go find something else to watch on YouTube. This ain't for you. That's what I'm saying, men, to get up from depression. Stand up. The world is waiting on you to stand up. Either you're going, well, I don't want to say that. Either you're going to take it or somebody's going, either you going to do it or somebody's going to do it to you. And that's not how I wanted to say it. That's not how I wanted to say it. So you got to make a decision that you are not going to stay in depression any longer. Second of all, you must have a clear-cut decision. Clear-cut decision. Yeah, you got to decide, but you got to make sure that you have vision. Baby, you got to have vision. Willie, you got to have vision, brother. You need to get vision. You got to look at the first vision that you got to see. You got to look at yourself another way. Before you can have vision on the outside, you got to have a vision of who you are on the inside, completely different. Stop looking at yourself broke down, discussing, don't got nothing together. You got to change the vision of how you see who you are. Ain't nobody going to tell you that. Ain't nobody's going to give you that. You're going to have to make a decision and have vision that you're going to look at yourself completely different. You're going to look at yourself completely different. You're going to say, let me look at myself in the mirror for real. I ain't that bad. Things could be worse. I still got breath. I still can hear, see. I still got some parts of me that I can still say I have life. You got to have vision of who you are. You got to change the vision of how you see yourself. So if you're going to step from depression into becoming vibrant, you got to make a decision and you got to see yourself different. I don't understand the beatdown that so many, I understand. Let me say this. I understand the beatdown of so many men in this culture and in this country. But at the end of the day, you got to shake off every narrative that's been pushed down your throat that men ain't sugar, honey, iced tea. I'm going to say this, and y'all may not like it, but it is what it is. But you're going to shake all that. The men ain't sugar and honey, iced tea, and men ain't this, and men ain't that, and this, and men and this. All that narrative that I hear, you got to shake that off and say, that ain't me. That ain't me. So once you get that, then see, you treat people how you treat yourself. And people treat you how you treat yourself. You treat people how you treat yourself, and people treat you how you treat yourself. And so if you are going to change the narrative in your life and around you, guess what you're going to have to do? Change your vision of who you are. We got too many men wanting to give up, throw in the towel, who want to just be simple clowns, who want to get on these streets, complain about women. These women ain't doing that. These women ain't doing this. I wish they would change. I wish they would do this. They may never change. They may never get their act together. What are you going to do? Whine and cry? And now you depressed because you can't get the woman that you want. The reality of it is you got to have vision for yourself. And then you got to have vision for everything around you. It takes work. Yes. I don't care. You coming out of depression, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work. You got to have vision for yourself, but you got to have vision for everything around you. And what I mean is you can't look at everything that is, and I'm going to get some practical things too, because the reason why some of y'all depressed, you can't look at everything as not good. Or this, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. I wish I had a better car. I wish my hair was right. I wish my nose was right. I wish my beard. I wish your vision of everything around you is skewed, or it is you don't have the right vision about what you have in yourself. Let me say something else. If you got stuff that's broke down, dirty, disgusted around you, your environment will make you depressed. Your environment will make you depressed if you do not change the environment that you are staying in. Your environment can, if you allow it to make you depressed. So what you have to do, change your environment, clean your place. I dusted today. Straighten up, sweep the floor, whatever you can. Even if you have a small little place or a big place, your environment can affect your what? Your mental state. See, if you only got a little bit, you need to take that little bit and make it the Taj Mahal. You need to make it the best thing in the world. You need to make sure everything is up to par, high class, top of the notch, first class and everything. You need, so you got to make a decision. You got to have vision, but you need to deal with your environment. Who are you dealing with that's depressed? Are you dealing with people? Yeah, I guess we ain't gonna make it. Everything every time they come to you, they got a sad story. They got another sad story. How this one left them and that one. Check your environment. Clean your environment. Do whatever you need to do. Today, I shout out to the young lady. I lit my candle today. Honey baby candles. Lit the candle today. Why? I want my place to smell real good. Ain't nobody coming over, wherever the case may be. I need it for my mental space. Make sure my place smells good. It's clean. Floors are mopped. Things I need to do. Kitchen is good. Bathroom is done. Make sure I'm well taken care of. The reason why you're depressed is because your environment is jacked up. It's making you depressed. You still singing that good times. Just looking out of the window. You singing that temporary layoff. Good, that ain't no good times. You still singing good times, and that ain't good times. And we had it. Good, ain't no good times. Check your environment. As it would say, James Brown would say, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. So whatever you got to do to boss up, to change your environment so that you can come out of your depression, you need to do that. You need to go to places that stimulate you mentally. Water, parks, walks in them, whatever you need to do. You need to walk around the corner. Go to places that stimulate your mind so that you can come out of the reason why you're in depression, because you're not stimulating your mind. And it's beginning to do like this, slowly shrink. So you got to stimulate your mind. Go to places that do that. Go to people who have stimulating conversations. Your environment means so much. Your environment means so much to you. As much as we don't want to admit it, your environment means so much. Go where you are celebrated and not tolerated. This is all part of bringing you from depression into being vibrant. Some of you, your reason why you're depressed is because your environment is constantly bringing you down. Someone's always telling you how they got robbed, how somebody did this, how this woman did this to him, how this man did this to him, how when they went to work, the boss cussed them out. They're always giving you their sad story. Your environment. Decide to cut those people off. I don't want to hear it. Sometimes I'm just be honest. What I do is when people start talking like that, I hear you, then I automatically close my spirit and be like, or I interject. I'll say, I understand your point, but did you think about this? And I'll change the course of the conversation. Pay attention. Because I don't want to you're not going to affect me with all your sadness and all your doubt and disbelief. The world's going to end. The world's going to crash. Inflation's going to take us down. And this going to happen. And, it's going to be World War VI. And, Ukraine's going to do this. Putin's going to do this. Trump's going to do that. Biden's going to do that. All that stuff, if you're not careful, it will take up mental space in you and bring you down. I am not saying not be aware. What I am saying is Don't allow it to be your place where you constantly eat at. Your mental space and your spiritual space is very important to make sure that you don't get into depression. Your mental space and your spiritual space is very important to where that you do not get into depression. Plain and simple. I know everybody, it is what it is. That's why it's important as a man and as women who are here that you understand that you got to change your environment. Sometimes you just gotta be like you mute, like you don't even hear them. While they're talking, you just you let them do like Charlie Brown's mom when Charlie Brown had to call his mom. You do the same thing. You just completely go into space, just ignore them. The next thing you need to do when it comes to coming out of depression, I said change your environment, change your mental environment. You need to go do something different. Many times the reason why people are depressed because they're stay in routine. They do the same thing every day, all day. They have no freaking life. They don't have no life. Today, 4 o'clock, I'm going to take some golfing course and lessons. Why? Because I know the importance of learning something new, and I also learn to go get a life. You see me, I didn't say go chase women. Let me say that again. You see, I didn't say go chase women. I said go get a life. The reason why some of you guys are depressed because you keep chasing women instead of chasing your life. Going to golfing lessons, going to get the right drive, going to make sure I'm doing it right. Why? Because having a life, learning something new stimulates the mind, takes you out of depression and the routine of life. LJ, where do you have no money? Go get a book. Go on. If you're watching this, you got to go learn something new. Many times the reason why we're in depression is because we're not expanding our mind and we're not learning something new. We're not learning something new. Telling you what's going on, Trav. I'm gonna put the link in here and I want you guys can come up, but I want you to put the link in here. But definitely the reason why a lot of people don't come out of depression because they still in a place they don't want to learn nothing new and they want to stay in the same place. I'm gonna put the link in there. Don't want to learn nothing new. Oh, they want to learn. I want to learn game. I want to learn this. I am learning about a place that I'm going to visit potentially in October. I'm learning the culture. I'm learning the people. I'm learning what happened there. I'm learning where to go, where not to go. Learn something new. Expand that head of yours. I need to get that frame. What's going on, Trav? So the thing of it is, the reason why a lot of people stay in depression, or men or women, or especially men stay in depression, they don't do nothing new. Let me say this, and I'm gonna say this, they do not enjoy life. And this is the real reason. This is one of the real reasons. They feel guilty for not enjoying life. Let me say that again. Let me take my jacket off because y'all let me take my jacket off. These men feel guilty for enjoying life. So what they do is they downplay anything that brings them pleasure because they're shameful for having any pleasure. And so secretly they go into depression because if I do enjoy myself, if I indulge myself, I should feel bad about it. You got to realize that there's nothing wrong with enjoying life. You didn't come here to live, to be birthed, and then to die. You were here to design to enjoy life. And too many men and too many people feel shameful for not enjoying life. That is the reason why you're depressed. And you think enjoyment is just simply, especially you men, is just simply between a woman's legs, and you missing out because it's more than what's between her legs. You need to go enjoy life. You need to go be you. And I'm not against, don't get me wrong. I'm all down for that. But at the same time, you need to go enjoying life and not be ashamed about it. Not feel bad because you want to go to the cigar bar. That's if you want to do that, that's what you're going to do. Not feel bad because you want to go to travel somewhere. Not feel bad because you want to get a particular car. Many times the reason why a lot of men go into depression because they have forfeited what brings them pleasure. Let me say that again. Many times the reason why a lot of men go into depression because they forfeit what brings them pleasure. And I'm not just talking sexual pleasure. I'm talking about pleasure to them as a man, or what stimulates them in their masculinity. When I was a kid, one of the things I liked to do was go to the toy store or to the hobby store and get model cars and put those model cars together. Parents was very careful about the glue. They told me, little, don't sniff the glue. Use the glue sparingly. I'm like, oh, okay. So you don't want to get high off the glue. But I would get the glue and I would put different model cars together. And it became such a thing in my neighborhood that we would have contests on what we built for us with the model cars. Then we got into model boats. We got pleasure of the competition. We got pleasure from the competition of who had the best model car. So that's the part that I think a lot of men miss. They are depressed because they forfeit their pleasure. That model cars and model plane. And then when I was younger, we had Legos. You there, Trav?
Oh, I'm here.
We had Legos. We would do the Legos and put things together. Then we would have spaceship competition. Who had the best spaceship? Why? It was something that brought us pleasure. Trav, man, what's going on, bro?
Oh man, you hitting it on the head. Let me adjust this real quick. Nah, for real, because I notice as we get older and stuff, we become the things that brought us joy when we were children, and because we're still grown children, you know what I mean? We're just matured, but the things that brought us joy and brought us laughter and all that, we feel like we have to forfeit it and go in this narrow path that society told us to do, which has only been around this type of society for not that long. This is not how we were designed to live in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? And what are you living it for? For the validation of what society feels is right? But a lot of people in society that are living right feel wrong doing it. And they're having a lot of health problems, a lot of depression and all that. Now let's take it to a deeper level. A lot of men are chasing women because they're depressed. And even though they get women, they're still depressed because you really haven't found what you want in life. A lot of people don't realize that. Like chasing women is we have like things that are considered like good addictions and bad addictions. So like a good addiction for a man is like experiencing a lot of women in an immature way. That's not good either. That pollutes the soul. But most men haven't even got to that point yet to realize that. So that's why they think, oh, if I fix this, I'm going to, life's ever changing and you have to keep finding yourself, because the moment you stop working on yourself and keep finding yourself and reinventing yourself, that's when things go in a rut.
Dude, I can say that because I've been, let me say this. What's going on, Yahoo? I can say that because I can raise both hands. I know the thing about chasing women. I know the upside and I know the downside. I know when they leave and I know when they come. But at the end of the day, no matter how many or how only one there is, I got to be happy with who I am as LDA. Plain and simple. They can't be like the song, I can't think who made it. She brings me joy, joy, joy. No. You got to realize you got to be your own joy. You got to be your own joy. She'll never enjoy your joy until you become the joy that you are to yourself.
Man, I can say this, and within the last year, I've been like this, but it's elevated to a whole new level. I am so happy by myself and in my routine. I do not have to have people in part of my routine to be happy. I really don't. And when you get to that point, the world unlocks the cheat codes for you because you do things for yourself. Like, think about it. When you're by yourself, who's putting negative thoughts in your head about what you can and can't do? Who told you what was realistic and what was not? Who told you how you were supposed to live? And what I mean by that is the negative thoughts, the limiting beliefs and all that. Kids don't think like that naturally. That gets programmed into you by parents, friends, society. So when you're by yourself, no one can stop you from doing what you want to do. A lot of men, from a men's perspective, well, both sides, men and women, get in relationships because they're codependent and can't be alone. And because of that, they put themselves on the back burner and put the codependency first. You're not going to win like that.
And what happens is when you do that, a person can get into depression because they're codependent on the individual and not interdependent with that person. I promise you, I've seen marriages. I've been married. I've seen it. So I'm not talking from a place of just, oh my God, he's talking from theory. He's talking from what he thinks. No, I'm talking from what I know.
I'd be talking from theory. I can't speak on that.
Yeah, I can speak from merit side.
Yeah.
Until you understand that it comes back to you, especially men, find your happiness in you. Find your joy in you. If you need to come out of depression, come back and look at yourself. And let me say this too, because this is a flip side of this trap, and I think people don't get this. Sometimes the reason why you depress brothers, because you mother are too damn selfish. You don't give nothing. It's all about you, and you violate nature's law of give and receive because you too damn selfish. Mm-hmm. You don't give. And what happened is the reason why you go in depression is because you gave to the wrong thing and you didn't get the return you thought you should have got.
Right. And I've been, and no one's coming up here saying this stuff, saying we're perfect. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We might still do it in little ways. We slip up and all that. I've been guilty of that, where you give to people and you don't get in return, and then it creates a way in you. You know what I mean? And you could have, scars and PTSD from that. And that's going to be a part of life. You're not going to be able to perfectly predict that 100%. But yeah, when you can't vet and find the right people to give yourself to, and do it on your terms, you could be selfish and giving at the same time. So when you don't do it the right, correct way and it's out of balance, that's where the depression comes in. And a lot of the times the depression also comes because you can't tell yourself, I was wrong. Because when you tell yourself I was wrong, right? It's like when they say you have to go to therapy, when you have to admit out loud first what you're dealing with. Because when you have that victim mindset, that's where depression comes in. But when you have the mindset of it was my fault, the reason why I like to say things are my fault, because that means I can correct it and move on. If you say it's their fault, you can't stop them from doing them. So you're always going to be a victim.
And that's what we are not ever going to promote in this thinking class at victimhood, because that ain't, to me, when you in victimhood, you're not in your manhood. So
Facts.
it's important that men, and you said some key, Trav. You can't admit that you're wrong, and then you get into depression. And we look at depression as a lack of what? Expression, and you are compressing what's inside of you. You should have told her, I don't like grits, when she came with the grits. You should have told her, I don't like when you come over, I need you to take your shoes off when you come to the door. Second of all, if you don't have some likes, you got to be open enough to find out what she don't like. I know everybody want to be the He-Man around here. And what I say, what I do. You got to listen to what she don't like either. And decide if you want to deal with that woman on what she says she likes and she don't like either. So a lot of times, a lot of y'all in the depression because you wasn't straight up and being up front with the woman. This is what it is. And then you get mad. She didn't do this. She did this to me, Trav. I don't know why. Why? You know why? You ain't say up front what was the deal. And then you come on the YouTube streets looking for all validation. These women, man, they for the streets, man. I can't believe it. The reason why for the streets and you depressed, you looking for answers because you wasn't up front and you did not express what you want.
Yep.
I watched it too many times. I watched the cycle of people cycle on YouTube, cycle off Instagram, cycle on. And they never cycle to the point they look at themselves and say, it's me. It's a song we used to sing when I was in church, when I was a kid. It's not my mother's, not my father, but it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. And I said, wow, I used to sing that as a kid. We thought it was fun. Oh yeah, little kid singing it. But the reality of it is, it's really me. I'm the determining factor whether or not I'm going to enjoy life. But I got to get back to that point, Trav, because it's so important. Fine. The reason why a lot of men are depressed, they have not found their pleasure.
That's fact. And that's where vices and bad habits come in, because those might give you temporary endorphin lifts, quick temporary pleasure, but then it becomes an addiction and you keep needing it, but it's not solving the problem. You know what I mean? You have to find yourself. And a lot of times people who don't want to be fluid enough to reinvent themselves, because reinvention takes work. A lot of times depression comes from laziness.
Oh, whoa. Facts.
Ego and laziness.
Mm-hmm. Facts. That is so true. You don't want to do nothing. Hey, what, you want to go over to this party? I don't want to go. Who gonna be there?
So I can speak on this. I can't speak on the marriage part, but I can definitely speak on reinvention, because I've reinvented myself. So me personally, 5 years ago, I'm working for the NFL Network, and I hit a ceiling in my career. I'm realizing, hey, I had success, but I also made some mistakes in my career path. Not necessarily all my fault, but still, I got to take accountability for it. And I'm changing as a person. My ex and I aren't seeing eye to eye. Our values are different. And if I would have stayed in that position, which a lot of people do, they stay because it's comfortable, even though it's depressing, it's still comfortable. They'll stay in that position. I had to decide I have to make a change. I did something wrong, but I have to make a change and reinvent. And I'm finding my reinvention process. I'm trying different things. And my ex, who I thought was going to be appreciative, goes, well, I didn't sign up for this. I was angry. I was depressed. But I said, you know what? But I have to reinvent myself. I have to do this. I said, you know what? I went up to her and I said, I'm leaving my career and I'm leaving you and I'm changing my life. And I don't know what I'm going to do. And I told her, I was like, you have family here in this area? I don't. I'm staying in the apartment. You're getting out. Did what I had to do. Then I had to humble myself and go, you know what? I can't stay here because it's not going to work long term. I'm not making enough money. I'm going to have to live with my sister in Sacramento. So then I move and I go from an Emmy nominated producer to being a mover and barely getting by. A year and a half, no dating, no nothing, just coding, working out, and working on myself, going through it. But it's like the story of Joe. But 5 years down the line now, my life is better than ever. And if I have to do that again, I will. And that gives me so much power. And I could be by myself because you know what? When I'm by myself, nobody can stop me. You know what I mean? Now, I could probably work on relationships and being with people. I can admit that. But I am not depressed and I'm happy with myself. And I just hope that most people in life can get to a point where they can feel that true power.
That's a good, I love that. Let me say something that when you were saying something, y'all need to hear this. Put a number 2 in the chat room because there's 2 of us are up here. More people can come up. Put a 2 in the chat room for this one. Y'all need to hear what I'm about to say. Why a lot of men are depressed. Y'all need to put a 2 in the chat room. I'll be the first one to put it in there. I'm trying to always try to be the first one. Put a 2 in the chat room for this one. You need to hear what I'm about to say. You need to hear this one. Why a lot of men are depressed. You need to hear the reason why a lot of men are depressed or a lot of people are depressed. You need to hear this.
Drum roll.
Trav get an answer already. He gave the answer. The reason why a lot of people, particularly a lot of men, are depressed because the old version of them doesn't work anymore and they don't want to step into the new version.
Yep.
The reason why a lot of men or a lot of people are depressed is because they realize the old version of them does not work and they're afraid to step into the new version of who they should be. And so they get into that place between, I got to choose my new self, but I'm afraid, but my old self is comfortable, but I'm depressed with it.
Yep.
I'm depressed. I'm in between the rock and the hard place. My new self is saying, come here. But my old self feels so good because I wear it every day, but it's constantly bringing me down and I'm depressed with it. I'm sad, but I know if I step into this new place of faith or step into this new place of this new version of me, like Trav did, it's going to bring the life that I need to be. But so many people get caught in the place, as Jono was here to say, in the place of comfortability, that they don't see that their comfortability is bringing them depression.
Facts. That's exactly right. And to add to that, to put a cherry on top, a lot of times your inner self, your inner voice tells you what you need to do, but you don't want to find yourself and let yourself be yourself because you want to fit into what society is telling you what you need to be. So like for me, like I like going to the gym every day. I like going to sleep at a certain time. I like counting calories every day and being very health conscious. These are things that make me happy and keep me going every day. But because society or you want to be around people that don't have those same habits and they try to force on you, why are you doing that? Because you want to fit in or be what society says regular. You don't want to do those things because people don't like that. Well, guess what? I'm a very disciplined person. That's going to cut me off from a lot of people because a lot of people are not disciplined. But guess what? The only reason that's a problem is if I'm not happy enough to be alone and be by myself and do what makes me happy. That's the only reason why. If the only reason why I would be depressed is if I'm not accepting myself and finding my own tribe and putting in the work to say, you know what, I want to be this person. Let me find a lane in life and people in life that are going to support what I want to do. And instead of you just dealing with the people around you, you got to put in work. Everything takes work and find people that are on the same path as you. And again, people don't want to put in the work, and that's why they get depressed.
Dude, do you hear me? When I was depressed, when I couldn't talk, when my sister had to pull me back together, I had to make a decision and do the work myself too. Fierce Soul coming up. Oh boy, here we go.
Hey,
So, he got it on. You got me wrong too.
LD, you hear me?
rolling.
Yeah, you got me rolling through. Shut me off on the back end because it's rolling through. It's playback. He got froze. He got the internet then caught him. Internet then caught him. We got to.
Let me just drop this in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it goes. It's a little choppy.
Yeah.
There we go. You guys there? You hear me?
Yep. We looking at
There
the
just
the
went
front
no
door.
for a minute.
Look
Yeah,
at
what's
this
going
fun.
on, fellas?
Look what your picture looking at. I got a pointer.
I'm lost. What y'all talking about?
Look at your picture just happened to be somewhere. Let me move your picture around, bro. Okay, let me do this. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's better because your picture was on her tatas.
There we go. What's going on, fellas? Travis, how
Going
you?
on, bro?
How you doing?
And I'm telling, man, y'all was going in on a high IQ conversation there, man. I gotta attest to that, all of that, because it's like what y'all was saying. We all doing things in real time, but I actually really did something in real time a couple hours ago. But not even no thoughts about it. It's just like you just said. If you feeling like you're in a place where things aren't going a certain way, like your environment, you don't like your job, you don't like your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or certain situations, you got to make a decision, and it don't make sense to stay in that prison, especially when you had these thoughts for a long time. Why you keep letting them gather in packages and on packages on packages? We got to get to a place where we got to kill it from the door, no matter what it is. We got to attack. We can't be on the defense anymore. We just got to kill that and do the things that make us happy, truly make us happy. So at heart, I'm an artist. I love music. I love drawing, doing all that stuff. And when I picked up the pen and actually hit the paper, it was like a release that came off my spirit, because I guess it was fear. Something I used to do as a kid, and everybody know me for doing that. But I guess I kept saying, I'll get to it, I can't make money off that, and just making excuses. When you actually touch and do something that you love, it's like a sense of freedom. And you have to be, I used to think guys that was depressed, I used to look at it as being weak. I used to, but not being mature enough to understand until I went through my situations in life. And then I found myself, I didn't want to accept it, but I think we're all at a point and at an age now where, we can't be fronting now, especially in the thinking class, what's happening, and you have eyesight on it, it's what's true within yourself. You got to acknowledge that. And I guess I was depressed at one point. But when you start to acknowledge certain things, you grow from those areas. It's like that freedom that you strive for again, and you'll do anything to get to that freedom. You'll burn down, kick down, or whoever get in your way to get to that freedom. So this morning, it was a situation with my dispatcher, and even though I'm a contractor, this guy, this isn't anything to do with promotion or anything with guys in hierarchy, because I respect any type of situation, whatever the case. It doesn't matter. I'm happy for people when they win in their life, but what I don't tolerate is disrespect. That's always been me, and that I guess that's a gift and a curse at the same time, but that's neither here nor there. When it comes to that situation this morning, he dropped the ball with a situation, and he tried to put it on me because I'm the transporter, I'm the driver. You there? I hear something in the background. You hear me, LDR?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
I want you to get right to hit the ball at the park. I'm like I'm at church. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
What happened?
all right. So when I was there, this guy got real real disrespectful. Like, nah, it's on you. We're gonna write you up. Da da da. And I'm at the point where it's like I have such an independent mindset, and you know how we do things from the thinking class, the things that we acknowledge, the things that we have in our heart, and the things that we want to achieve and aspire to. So when somebody's kind of like getting out of pocket with you, and you don't really have to tolerate it, you know, we're not going to get rough. We're not going to put our hands. We're not going to do anything that put ourselves or them in danger. But you can't take yourself out of the situation. You can just take yourself out of the situation completely, or tolerate it, still going with the burn, go with the bruises, still be mad, cursing, or, you know, certain things turn into bigger things. So I made a decision after I signed some paperwork. I went back to my truck. I said, yo, you know what? I had to check myself first. I said, I'm not emotional with what I'm thinking now, right? Because I really wanted to acknowledge and analyze that situation, not with my emotions, but I wanted to strategically say, okay, I'm making a good decision right now. And I made that decision. And when I left, I quit the job, and it was a shock to a lot of them, but I'm able to go ahead and achieve and do the things now that I really want to do. The money isn't a concern. Like you said, pick up a book. I've been reading 3 books a month. Since I've been reading and finding new elements and things. And this coming from a guy I only read when it was time to just get certified for something, or something just going to come to a benefit to my pockets. Not that I couldn't read. It wasn't my hobby. It just wasn't my thing. But now that I see and I want to read and I do these things, I see that there's a lot gained, even in books, no matter what it is.
Oh yeah, I got some I'm gonna share behind the scenes. I can't share now, for behind the paywall. I can't even share.
I'm not gonna say, you remember what I shared with you behind the scenes, right? And
yeah.
That book is powerful.
Yeah. So today you made a decision. After everything that was going on, you made a calculated, unemotional decision out of logic, and you pretty much know that you made a decision to leave your job and go into another direction. So something is going to open up for you. So now you're going to have a strategic plan on how you're going to get income, right? Don't let me lose you now. You there, brother? We ain't got the mat.
Y'all can hear me?
We see the. Oh, there you go. So you made a decision to move from your job. Can you hear me? Oh, Lord Jesus.
Cutting out.
Yeah. So he made a decision to leave his job and go into another direction. But my thing is, even with that, so you don't get in depression, you better make sure you got something else lined up, or at least going in that direction, or not you're going to be depressed looking at us. Got to think. That's why we got a thinking class. But anyway, back to bring it back home. You got to find out what brings you pleasure or what brings you joy. I gave the example of me playing with the model cars, playing with Legos, building things like that. We had to tap back into, Trav, like I was saying, we got to tap back into the inner child that we so neglected because we became adults.
Really do.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because the thing is like, the only thing money is a construct to let you do more of what you want to do. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. So if you're making money, but in a way that's not aligning with your spirit just for money, it's not going to work. There's a lot of people like that work in finance and make money, but they're depressed, and the type of lifestyle that it takes is not healthy. You know what I mean? And a lot of the things that we do, why are we doing it? We're doing it because society says it's right. Does it mean it's right?
Not at all.
There's people that live in third world countries, and I just posted this. It's kind of related on my Instagram. Like the actor Miguel Nunez is like in his 60s. He don't even look like he's past 50 years old, maybe even 45. And it's because he laughs every day. He does everything he wants to do. People that are millionaires and billionaires will have all that money and don't even have health like that. With all those resources, they can't get healthy like him because it's what's up in here. It's his mindset.
It's funny you say that because I remember a story. I see you first, so I remember a story of this man who went to third world country to vacation. So he went there and he seen a man that was a fisherman, and he said, "Oh my God, this is how your family make money. This is how your family survive." He said, "Yeah, this is how we do it. We fish, and then we may give some to the community." He said, "Well, I'm an executive here in the United States. I can create you a business where you can have the best fish company in the world. People will come all around the world to get fish from you." He said, "Really? Yes, your family will be taken care of. They will have the best life. Your kids will have the best education, and then guess what you can do? You can go on vacation anywhere you want in the world." He said, "You know what? That sounds like a plan." He said, "But you think about it. I'm going to go do all those things so I can come back and vacation where I already work at. I'm going to do all these things so that I can go on vacation and come back at the same place that I already live at." Sometimes we're chasing our tail trying to get to the head.
Facts.
So it's important that sometimes our depression is because we got too many things that we're doing, like you say, Trav, to meet the validation of society, of what society says a man is, or what society says we should do, instead of going back to the simple things of life.
And look at what society is co-signing today. You want to go with that? Society has weaker than ever values. You want to go with what society say? Okay, go ahead and do that.
I promise you, that is a lot of depression is because a lot of depression for men and women. Let me say, well, this is going to be just might as well stir the pot on here. A lot of depression for a lot of women, because they're doing things that a man should do, and a lot of reason why a lot of the men are depressed because they're not doing things that man should do.
Correct. That point right there, you got to write it down. That's your point right there, because that's correct. People are doing things that are outside of themselves.
Yeah, the reason why a lot of women are depressed because they want to do things that a man want to do, and a lot of reason why a lot of men are depressed because they ain't doing things that a man should do.
Correct.
And what happens is what take place. The woman gets sick, hair falling out, thyroid problems, not eating right, things she's taking on things that she should not take on.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what happens? She's in depression and she's dying sooner than what she needs to do. She's having issues in her body that she doesn't need to have. And the other vice versa, men are now not taking on things that they should take on, and therefore they're in a depression themselves too. I know.
A lack of appreciation.
Yeah, go ahead, Fierce. It's the truth. Dude, I see it all the time. I talk, most people don't realize I talk to a lot of women, not talk to them in that way professionally on that level.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, they are not happy. Why they're not happy? Why they're in depression? Because they're not in the place they want to be at. And a lot of men, the reason why you're not happy, and you said it, Fierce, a lot of men are not happy because first they don't appreciate themselves, and next they don't get an appreciation from the people and mainly the women around them.
Right.
But see,
Right.
go ahead.
But
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is, and that's exactly why we say, if you validate yourself, nothing else is going to affect you.
Oh boy,
It's cutting out.
I just find that. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Oh boy, guess what? Woo, I got a message. That quick.
Hey.
Oh, and ain't that got a message? See, this is the power of it. This is the power. When you stay in your lane, you're not going to make everyone happy. You can't. You can't make everyone happy.
Gotta make yourself happy.
Right. Right.
You have to make yourself happy.
Yeah, and that's what. So I'm not gonna prolong. I'll share with you what it is on the back end track. Just that quick. Just that quick. That lets me know if you're paying attention. I'm not for everyone. I'm not for every location. I'm gonna do LDA at the end of the day.
Yep.
And if the truth be told with the message I just got, some of y'all Negroes be cussing more than y'all want to say outside of the pulpit than you do trying to hide it inside of the pulpit. But I'm just talking. That being said, this is Lawrence D. Adams. I am about to exit this one. I'm going to get ready for golf, my golf lessons. Swing that iron and get rolling. Here, so I don't know what happened to you. Somebody help me see who Cap for Life. Let's see who this is. Now you come here talking, stay on track. If you come here talking crazy, I don't know who you are, but I pray don't come here talking crazy. I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna let you in right quick. What's going on?
Hey man, appreciate you, man. I'm over here at work right now, so whatever content we get out to the afternoon, man, we're blessed to have it, man. So thank you.
Okay, appreciate that.
So yeah, man, I just seen the topic at hand over here, man, and I don't know if it's a depression-based conversation or whatnot, but the ways of society today, man, I'm just here to say, man, like we all know it's that we're not plugged in right nowadays, man. I just don't understand today's human mindset and the way we're thinking right now. And I know it's more than just greed right now. I mean, the greed is obvious, but something's not right and not registering right with today's human, man.
Yeah, the greed comes from, like with LDA, it's the deeper spiritual side that creates that greed.
Let me say this with the greed. The reason why there's greed because we don't know, like you said, the deeper spiritual side of it. We don't know how abundant we really have. We really are.
Extreme facts.
You know what I mean? You can only get in greed and worry about what somebody else have when you realize you're coming from a place of scarcity and not a place of what? Abundance.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And so what happens is a lot of people get into greed and then they say, well, he got this and he got that chain and he do this. I'm jealous of him. It's because you don't realize how abundant you are. And then what happens is because you get into greed, you slide right into depression because then you now comparing yourself to the next person instead of being the person yourself. You there, brother?
Yeah, I mean, I could take a little bit of that, you know, with what you're saying, but it's just for me, man, and this is going pandemic based. So the past 3 years, I just feel like, you know, people that work hard for what they get end up getting the short end of the stick. And now it's just like, I feel like them that are cutting corners and just, you know, getting over the way things were the past 3 years with the easy money making, you know, they're benefiting from it and they're prospering from it. And don't get me wrong, I ain't trying to hate on it, but you know what I'm saying? What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And right nowadays, it just feels like, you know, it's just not, it's not an even playing field. And, you know, the game is the game, but you know what I'm saying? It's just the way it's being played right now. A lot of people know it's not right. And that's why a lot of people are losing their cool. Hence all these mass shootings.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's interesting that you brought that up. Today, just today, 20 minutes before 20, 30 minutes before the show, I heard a report. You said with the pandemic, people getting those PPP loans and getting over. You know about that, right? Everybody know about that, right?
The PPP. Oh, yeah, I'm about to apply for one now.
Okay, right. Let me say this. The government ain't playing. with people with these PPP loans, and they're going to extend the investigation to
Right.
2030. So they're going after Acorn.
Woo.
They're going after Acorn, or they're going after the companies who help people get the PPP loans who were not qualified. So they have all their lists. And so anyone who got it and didn't really have a business, baby, 2030 is they may show up. You might have get away. I'm not saying you per se, but they might have got away a few days ago or a few weeks ago or last year. But 2030, I just heard it today. They're knocking at the door.
They're cracking heads, man.
That's serious. You there, brother?
Yeah, no, to be honest with you, man, the way ICE was knocking on the door, cracking heads for illegal immigrants, I'm not too worried about it, man. Nowadays, the jails are too full for lesser crimes. And let's put it like this. Brittany Griner's going to jail for 9 years. What about the people that are in jail down here in the U.S. are still locked up for lesser charges? You get what I'm saying? Like, the world is not too bright right now, bro.
This thing, you know what? And I'm glad you're saying that, because
right.
We're in a major global reset. Economically, spiritually, socially, there's some global reset, and we have to be wise, and we have to be wise as a serpent, generous as a dove, and wise as a serpent in this time. I promise you. Those who know game, and I'm not talking about game to get women, but those who understand the definition I give of game can move through this time and be unscathed. Actually, the reality of it is, in desperate times, that's when millionaires are made.
That's true. That's why you have to be positive at all times, because you know it's funny, millionaires are not made during the peaks. Millionaires are made during the dips. It's the people that are, you got buy low, sell high. It's the people that have the faith and stay grounded during ungrounded times. You get rewarded for that.
So do you think that there's going to be another crash in the Bitcoin world, or do you think that's just a one-time crash and things are going to go back up when it comes to that type of money-based currency?
So I am invested in Bitcoin, and here's the thing.
It's gonna go back up.
Here's the thing. If you look at, if we want to take Bitcoin example, if you look at all the statistics and all the data and look at the lifeline of Bitcoin, there's been dips, but if you look at the overall trajectory of Bitcoin, it's gone up 180,000%. The thing is, right now it's dipping, and the only reason why is because people are worried about the right now. But if you look at the intrinsic value of what Bitcoin is, it's a store of value that is inflation proof. So if you have the long-term strategy where it's 10 to 15 years down the line, which is what I have with it, you make money in other ways and just let it sit. But there's a correction that's going to come, and it's happened. There's been 4 cycles where it's went like this. We're entering the 5th cycle. I don't know if it's bottomed yet, but at some point it's going to go up, and it's going to go up higher than ever. That's what all the stats and statistics show. It's just people.
I don't know, man. Once it gets regulated, I don't know if it's going to go as high as you think, though.
It's going to work, because the thing is it maybe doesn't go as high as people think, but at the end of the day, our monetary system can't last. It can't.
That
There's
I
no
agree
way
with.
it can last. So what else are we going to do? At some point, we're going to need something else. Nothing else addresses it like Bitcoin. What else is out there that can work, be that quick, with low transactional costs and all that, and be inflationary proof? What else is out there better?
I mean, look, you're going to look at me like a caveman, but if we're going to talk about something that's based upon, value of life, I mean, let's just not look at, and downplay seeds. Let's not, all these seed-based, plants and vegetables and fruits, all of them are being pretty much secured like if it was currency up in Switzerland, up in them caves, bro. Like, we all want to be off the grid in a way that the government doesn't mess with us. But at the same time, like when that regulation comes in, every dollar you have is going to be tracked as well. So, I mean, you're going to have to come into that aspect, or live like a caveman and live off the land. You know what I mean? And the government don't want you to live off the land either because they don't want them grids being taken away without some type of property tax.
So
it's just it's a slippery slope, man.
I get you. I don't want to get too deep in it because it goes away from what LDA is
Can't get away from Uncle Sam, man.
But at the same time, I will say this: regulation will actually help Bitcoin, because then if it could be regulated, everyone can get a part of it. So it actually will help.
Yeah. So I want to make sure we tie back in, because I know how it goes on YouTube with the algorithm.
About that money though.
Yeah, with the algorithm and what take place. So I want to make sure we understand that at the end of the day, a man has a choice whether he wants to be depressed or whether he does not want to be depressed. And you have to make some decisions and do some things to get you to the next level. I appreciate for Cap for Life. It's good to hear from you, man. I seriously, I really appreciate you.
No, man. Hey, no, thank you, man. And just keep spitting that wisdom, man, because nowadays everybody is going through something, man. Mental illness is no joke, bro. And we just got to figure out what is the common denominator when it comes to that. So keep doing your work, man. I'll be listening.
Right. I appreciate that. Trav, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you, Fear Soul, sharing where you was going on. I gotta get ready to. I'm going to Top Golf. I gotta get them lessons in. And get my swing together.
Yeah.
I get my swing together. But the reason why, and this is the thing, a lot of people don't realize. Reason why I do all that and I post it on Facebook and all that, Instagram and all that, because most people confront on these YouTube streets.
Most people are, to be honest with you.
Anybody confront them, but I wanted to say I don't do it to prove for receipts. I do it, and I said it to someone recently. I do it so my son see their dad, not just talking about it on Facebook and everything else, but he actually lived his life.
Right.
So that's the reality of it. So I don't do it for everybody else. I do it for my sons. So with that being said, this is Lawrence. Oh my God, look at that. Appreciate that, Jonathan W. Appreciate that, Julian. Appreciate that. That jerk chicken Top Golf. I appreciate that. I appreciate seriously, man. Now you gotta make me I gotta pull up the dance thing, and I gotta go. So we gotta go. Whoa, wait a minute. Hey. Go, John. Hey. Let's get. Oh. Yeah. I do it in the car like. Get it. Get it. Let's go. Appreciate you, brother. Next week. Hey. Crazy, man. I created this beat over 3 years ago.
That beat slap, bro.
3 years ago.
That beat hard. Love that beat.
Slap. Oh, you in the mix.
Yeah, the blend. Like a superhero when that come on.
That's it. We out here. Let's get it.
Hey, yeah, it's time for you to get back in the lab, man.
Gotta get back in the lab, huh?
Yeah, man, get some more beats. I like that.
I gotta get me a little turntable. So cut right into it. I got some more beats in the back I ain't even brought out, man. They've been sitting on the computer 5 years. That being said, I'm out of here, man. I gotta go. Hey.